Last time on the Serpent Isle. After passing the knight's test, I went ahead and reported our victory to Lord Marston back in Monitor. He congratulated the Avatar, and told the Avatar to give the wolf's meat to Lucilla the barkeeper, and the wolf's carcass to Celia the furrier, and to visit Lydia the tattooist to get our wolf's tattoo. Celia told us the cloak that will be made from the wolf we've slain will take 24 hours, and Lucilla happily took the wolf's meat for the night's banquet later on. And Lydia gave the Avatar a rather nice wolf's tattoo on his right cheek. Since we needed the cloak before attending the night's banquet, I had to rest for 24 hours before continuing with the game. And that following morning, the Avatar finds out he's been poisoned and burning with fever, according to Chamino. We talked to Harna about it, and she told the Avatar that it was likely Lydia who poisoned him through his tattoo. Questioning Lydia, she happily told the Avatar that she was indeed the one who poisoned the Avatar. All because the Avatar serves Lord British, also known as Beast British here in Serpent Isle. Then, she attacked us, though she went down pretty quickly. After this, I went ahead and attended the banquet quickly, and was officially inducted as a Knight of Monitor. Celebration was cut short though due to one side attacking the other for accusing Craig the Provisioner of being a spy, and Harna, the healer, rushing in to say that Kantra, her daughter, has been abducted. After the celebration was over, I took all the food at the banquet because we were running really low, and traveled north to Fawn, the City of Beauty. Earlier, Harna told us that one way to cure the poison, or the only way rather, is to obtain something called varo leaves. One person has varo leaves, Delphinia the Horticulturist, in the City of Fawn, the City of Beauty. Better go over there really quickly, so I traveled north, fought through a pack of wolves, took back Fawn Tower from a detachment of goblins, crossed the bridge into Fawn, survived another teleportation storm which thankfully didn't take any of my stuff or any of my companions away from me. Yellow played a nice song that he got from a lute from the storm to some alcoholic bard or sailor guy. And I took the time to talk to the head guardsman about Fawn, as well as Callista, the priestess of beauty, before talking to Delphinia, who finally gave us those varo leaves. After that, the party pretty much ended right outside of the now taken Fawn Tower, or taken back, rather. Alright, we got the varo leaves. Let's hurry on to Monitor and get this poison out of the Avatar's body. Alright, we're here. Harna, I hope you're nearby. Thankfully, we have plenty of health. I was worried that the poison was going to get to us earlier and kill me before I even arrive here, which is why I was in a bit of a hurry to come to Harna. Alright, I need some healing stat. The Avatar is burning with fever for like the third or fourth time so far. Now that I have the proper ingredients, it is a simple matter to cure thee. Hold thou still while I apply these directly upon thy tattoo. There, 'tis done. An infection hath been healed. Nice. It would suck to play with that throughout the entire game, huh? I always try to go to Fawn immediately, get the leaves, come back. And at this point in the game, we're free to basically explore this part of Serpent Isle, talk to NPCs, fight, do some combat, do some exploration, and not worry about that damn poison. And I was just thinking to myself on the way here, that if this were a modern game with achievements, I bet there would be like an achievement where you play the entire game without curing yourself of Lydia's poison. Me personally, no thanks, but there's silly achievements like that out there that I wouldn't be surprised that this game would have something like that. But let's ask about Kantra in a few minutes. We're going to click on this again. Pox. Didst thou speak with Lydia? Oh look, I'm talking. One of the rare moments in this game where the Avatar actually has dialogue other than name, job, and buy. Though, job was replaced by duties for some reason in this game. Indeed, the wench hath confessed her crime. Moreover, she hath paid for her treachery in blood. She is slain. I see. Thou dost appear to have many enemies in my land, my lord. Be thou careful whom thou dost trust. Let's ask about information. Oh, we already asked. It hasn't been a day yet. So let's ask about Kantra. Dost thou believe in magic? I do. We're a magic user. Well, we were until the spellbook disappeared in the storm. That is good, for what I have to show thee would befuddle the minds of most of this town's inhabitants. Go to mine home. There thou shalt find a crystal ball. Gaze into it, and let thy mind be clear. The crystal, she says while she hurries to her duties. Now, it's not in here. I'm gonna go in here anyways. All that's in here is, farming tools. Baskets have absolutely nothing inside, so if you want to take those baskets, you're free to do so, if you don't mind stealing. And here's her home. I'm gonna take a little peek in her dressers, just cause that's just regular stuff. Brush, 1 monetary, and 2 beds. Alright, let's see what this crystal has in store for us. Wow, Balin has fallen pretty hard, even though he was pretty fallen in the previous game, despite being the leader of the evil cult. He's chasing a 14-year-old girl in a decrepit castle. My goodness, but you're going to see in just a few minutes that that's actually not quite the case. Leave me alone, mage. I am but a little girl. Look at his portrait. He has shed all sense of, he took off the mask. He looks utterly evil. He's not pretending anymore. I know what thou art, bane of chaos. That body is but a shell that thou dost wear. I can escape thee. My powers dwarf thine. Thy powers have dwindled due to thy imprisonment. Thou art no match for me, now. And they fight. They both cast magic at each other, and that's not Kantra. She is something, and she is losing. She doesn't usually go up in that direction. I've never seen that happen before. Stop, Harna says. As thou hast now seen, the peril that faces Kantra doth go beyond merely being taken by the goblins. Some foul thing doth possess her. Yeah, we heard Bane of Chaos. That will be revealed way later in this Let's Play. The worst the goblins could do would be to kill her and destroy her body. This new uncertain danger is nothing less than a threat to her spirit, the very essence of her being. I implore thee, please find her and rescue her. It is certain to be a perilous undertaking, and I cannot blame thee if thou wouldst refuse the pleas of a simple woman. But none of the other knights believe in the visions of the crystal ball. They believe that Kantra hath been taken away by the goblins, and that she is already dead. Thou art mine only hope. Wilt thou please find my daughter, Kantra, and return her to me? Of course. Oh, I thank thee from the bottom of my heart for thy kindness and thy bravery. To find Kantra, thou wilt need 2 things. The first of these is Kantra's practice sword. I can give that to thee now. This is the very same practice sword that Kantra used every day. Now that thou hast my daughter's sword, thou shouldst find one of the legendary hounds of Doskar. They'll be able to sniff Kantra's essence from the sword, and then track her to anywhere in the Serpent Isle. The only dilemma thou dost face now is to find one of the hounds of Doskar. I do not know where one may be found, but I foresee that thou must find the hound before thou canst rescue my daughter. Kantra, ask again. I'm so grateful that thou hast taken on the quest of saving my daughter. If I can help thee, ask. I can ask about pox because we already did. Prophecy. Thou shalt need 3 ancient and powerful artifacts to complete thy tasks. One of these is a helm. It seems very familiar to me. Thy quest shall be long and difficult. Many are the adventures that thou must undertake. Seemingly unconnected events shall prosper thee in thy seeking of my lost daughter. Thy travel shall take thee north, far north through the caves that lie to the west. I can feel the cold wind blowing upon thee. I see no more, and I believe she'll actually update you on your task through prophecy the further along you get in the game. Bye. Good day, and to thee. Let's open up our inventory. And we got Kantra's sword here that you can equip. I don't really recommend you use this in battle because it's a wooden sword. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage. So we're going to use the regular sword. I will keep this right here, and check for updates to our items that we got in the storm. I believe some of these have been updated. Not that one. Nor that. Nor that. Here we go. I finally crafted a silver ring, probably the lost engagement ring of a lass named Alisand. None to the prior. The ceremonial breastplate of the Priestess of Beauty, who is Callista of Fawn. A very attractive lady, I should add. Now, did I write that, or did our companions write that in? I guess I did. None here, and none here. Alright, got a lot of scrolls. This is Delphinia's scroll. That's British's scroll. And these here are, that's Lydia's scroll. And the Assassin's scroll. I'll put these in the bottom so I know to store it somewhere else. We need a hub and a place to store stuff. And I'm probably going to use Lydia's tattoo parlor before I do anything else. But for this part, we're going to talk to every knight here in Monitor, because they have new things to say. We are currently a knight at Monitor now. I think it's a good idea to go ahead and feed our companions before we move on. Now when you press F, you remember in Blackgate you had to feed them multiple times because, well, in Serpent you just need to do it once. And they'll keep eating until they're full. Thankfully, we have a lot of food. We got a lot of cake, pie, bread from the goblins. I guess they're good to go ahead and slaughter if you need some food in this game. Now, if you remember Flicken, I'm gonna go talk to him. And also, welcome back to some more Ultima VII Part 2 Serpent. I wanted to come here really quickly and get my poison out of my body. I wonder if you have anything new to say. Don't click on gate, he'll open it. We have no need to go in that direction. Duties? I'm the chief pikeman, and my station is the southwest gate, as I can see. As we can see. The task of the pikeman of Monitor is to man the city walls and watch for goblins. I already chose goblins. Name, I'm Flicken, and I'm a knight of Monitor. I belong to the command of the bear. We are all knights here. If thou art not a knight of Monitor, then thou dost not belong in Monitor. Well, I am a knight, so I belong here. Command. The knights of Monitor are organized into 3 clans, which are called commands. The bears are the elite, but there are also the wolves and the leopards. Thou canst tell us apart by our tattoos. What can you tell me about the bears? We are the strongest of the commands. The goblins shall never break this city, so long as we are here to man the walls. Wolves? Bah, if they had their way, the wolves will waste all our men defending the highways and leave Monitor defenseless. Their leader, Brendan, is a profligate. Spending too much time with loose women is bad for a warrior, mark my words. What about the leopards? No one knows what the leopards stand for anymore. Marston used to be strong and viral, but now he rules the city from his desk. As for Spectre, he would rather pick up a quill than a sword. With such leaders, how can the leopards amount to much? Ruler. Monitor hath no king or queen. We do not believe in such things, and left our ancient homeland to escape a tyrant who thought otherwise. The lords of the commands take turns ruling Monitor. Currently, Marston doth have that duty. Next year it shall be Kaladin. Then after that we must suffer a year under Brendan's yoke. I get the impression he doesn't think much of Brendan. Traitor. Thou hast mistaken me for someone who wastes time with idle chatter, Reuben. What have we been doing for the last minute or so? If there is a traitor, no doubt Lord Marston shall unmask him. Meanwhile, I shall do my duty, and that is it. Bye. Courage, he says. But yeah, let's talk to every knight here. They have new things to say. They won't turn us away. There's Harna. It is currently 1:29 p.m. in the afternoon. We're free to explore, fight, talk to NPCs, and try to progress in the Serpent Isle. I think Renfrey has anything new to say? I don't think so. We'll talk to him anyways. Greetings, sir. What? Oh, 'tis thee again. Yeah, I'd say bye. I don't think he has anything new to say. He doesn't ask for a stranger anymore. Because unlike his, since he can't hear much, he does have eyes, and he'll see that we have a tattoo on our face. So let's leave him be. I think we'll talk to... Did we talk to Celia last time? It's been a few days since I played this, so I'll talk to her again. See if she has anything new to say. She's not in here. Shouldn't she be in here? It's weird. I think maybe the schedule system is all messed up after the banquet and fixes itself on the next day, I hope. I hope. Because she should be there. Hello again, Knight. What about your walks in the woods? It pains me that simply because I have this natural tendency, others would viciously gossip that I was conspiring with our enemy. I seldom venture far while I am alone, and I take exceeding care. Thou canst well believe me. I take long walks. Well, what is wrong with that, I ask thee? I especially like to visit sites of battles, looking for antique weaponry or armor. I collect them. I collect many things. I'm conspiring. Dost thou accuse me? No. I am an innocent man, and soon I shall present evidence of that fact. I have reasons of my own to believe that someone among us is selling our secrets to the goblins. Oh. What sort of reasons? There is someone else who takes long walks in the woods. I have never seen him clearly. He is very clever, and always dashes away into the forest before I can identify him. But was he goblin or man? He was not goblin. They never travel in the woods except in war parties. Yet there was something in his gait that was not entirely man-like either. Interesting. Wonder who that is. Well, what kind of evidence do you have? Listen to this. If there is a traitor, he must meet with a goblin somewhere. I know of a place where the goblins often gather. Perhaps I can find evidence there of who the traitor is, but of late, there have been too many goblin patrols near the rendezvous. I have been unable to reach the place undetected. Patrols. The goblins have been thick in the woods north of Knight's Test for weeks now. They have been emboldened ever since they overran the guard tower west of Fawn. That is where they slew Astrid, the bastards. We took back that tower in the last part. Rendezvous. The place is easy to find, for the goblins are attracted to the ancient ruins of this isle. In the midst of the great cypress woods north of Knight's Test, look for a strange black obelisk. This is the gathering place of the goblin war parties before they strike south. That's good advice. Remember that. Nothing more. Very well. What are these battle sites? Can you tell me anything about them? There must have been a great war here, in the days when the Daemons ruled the Serpent Isle. I think we already chose that 1 or 2 parts ago. Yeah, we did. We'll change subject. What do you know of Luther? We haven't met him yet. So thou art a comrade of that brute Luther, eh? No, I just said we haven't met him yet. I know that he is no friend of mine. He is suspicious of me for no other reason than that I'll happen to like to take walks in the woods, my goodness. He is merely following his leader Kaladin. They all think the wolves are their enemies. Knights. We're all knights in this town. I myself belong to the command of the wolf. What can you tell me about the wolves? We just joined. It is hard to be a knight who doth not fight well. I am useless on the battlefield, but by being provisioner I can at least earn my keep. The wolves have treated me well. Now if I were a bear, well, all they can think of is prowess. And what can you tell me about the bears? The bears. They are brutes. All they can think of are their incessant duels. The bears fight only for glory. What about the goblins? What about the bandits on the road? Kaladin and his knights are too concerned with winning glory to worry about the true battles which face us. Duels. They waste too many hours at the list fields, fighting any who will challenge them. Luther is the worst. Thou didst hear him. He doth accuse me of being a traitor. What can you tell me of Kaladin? Kaladin is not a bad sort, but his mind is mired in the past. All he sees is prowess. Can he not see that we Monotaurians must stop dueling amongst ourselves, and instead turn our attention outward? Kaladin thinks that the wolves hate the bears, but the truth is that he cannot abide the plans of our leader Brendan. Nothing more. Very well. What can you tell me of the leopards? The leopards are not as bad as everyone says they are. They keep the bears from ruining us. Lord Marston hath ruled well here, and he is a leopard. He hath no favorites among the commands. Commands. Thou dost not know about the commands? All Monotaurians belong to one of the 3 commands. La-dee-da. Or the leopards. Change subject. How about information? What do you know of these slippers? We read this a long time ago. Well, 2 parts ago. The nearest place where decorative footwear like that would be worn is Sleeping Bull. Certainly no one in Monitor would be caught dead wearing them. No one in Monitor, but one of my companions, Shamino, wore them earlier. So he's probably thinking, why'd you have to tell everyone about that, Ruben? Because it's very funny. Ruins. Oh, we already chose that a while ago. Change subject. Duties. I run the supply shop in Monitor, the tools of the trade. It is not a glorious duty. I cannot wield a sword comfortably because of my condition. Oh, what's your, condition if you don't mind me asking? If thou hast looked closely, thou canst see that mine arm is bent unnaturally at the elbow. I was wounded as a lad, in my very first battle. The goblins surprised us, and it was a heated battle. I was not able to obtain healing in time. Thus, I was left unfit for combat. Oh, this sucks. Bye. Now let's talk to someone else. It's currently 1:41 p.m. I can't even remember if I mentioned this earlier, but we gotta do some training. I have 3 training points. I'm gonna train with Brendan again to get combat to about 20 and dexterity to 20. Brendan's the better trainer for now for me. Shazana trains more in dex than combat. Brendan the opposite. And Yolo is going to be trained with Kaladin, strength, and combat. You don't want to train with Luther. All he trains is strength. All 3 points into strength. And strength really just, he's right there. Go talk to him. Strength really just measures how much you can carry and how much health you have. I don't believe it measures how hard you can hit. I think combat does that, and that's not a good frame. That always seems to happen when you open up a screen, a UI panel. Lightning has to strike. Let's talk to this guy. Sir Knight, what art thou, a moron? Canst thou not see that the artist is at work? Angel is sculpting me. When my bust is complete, then my fame will be perfect, and they shall surely proclaim me Knight Champion. Move on. That guy's not very nice, and you can see it in his portrait. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention, the portrait in this game is well done when it comes to knowing the character's personality. Like Luther, before he even opens his mouth, you can tell that guy's a bully, just by his portrait. They really nailed that, even though a lot of the portraits in this game are from real-life counterparts. Spectre, of course, being Warren Spectre. Brendan is also someone I can't remember right now. I don't really know Spectre, because he's the most famous one. Let's talk to our commander, Brendan. So we meet again, Ruben. You gotta lose the mustache. This is not fitting. You look like... I didn't mention this before. Did I mention this in part 1? He reminds me of Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think it's the smirk. Welcome to the Wolf Command. 'Tis good to have thee as one of us, Ruben. Again, congratulations on receiving thy knighthood. Bit of a timeout, I'm getting a little nostalgic. So I did watch a fair amount of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies growing up in the 90s. And those are like a mark of their time. Well, those movies came out in the 80s mostly. My favorite of his is Lionheart. I think that's his best movie. Okay, what should I choose? Trader? We asked about stockings. We asked about Gweno. Let's start with duties. I'm the leader of the command of the wolf. Like all the wolves, I am a warrior of cunning as well as strength. When I recover the helm of Monitor from the goblins, then my prowess will be known to all. Now I should become the next champion knight of Monitor. We chose this a while ago. Ladies would truly fall on me. Cunning. Stealth and cunning are primary attributes of a fighter. The wolves are specialists in these regards. To be stalked and caught by a wolf patrol would be a ghastly but altogether honorable death. Champion Knight. Asher was a brave woman, but the next champion knight shall be me. What can you tell me about the ladies here in town? The ladies of Monitor. All are governed by their own particular passions. Lydia, Lucilla, Shazana, Celia, Harna. I really hope you haven't slept with all of them. Let's ask about Lydia, the one who tried to kill us. Lydia was a strange woman, beautiful but dangerous. They say her sister was even more beautiful, but the sorcerers took her away to their city. 'Twould certainly be an experience to meet her, I'm certain of that. You know what, maybe we'll meet her soon. During our adventures in Serpent Isle, who knows. Let's ask about Lucilla, the barmaid. She is quite a flirt, that one. A true tease if thou dost know what I mean. Quite good looking, and fun too. Perhaps thou mayest enjoy her company. To tell the truth, I believe she must be interested in someone else. A secret toward affair, perhaps? Now who could her lover be? I haven't a clue. You sound a little bit jealous. Anyway, Shazana. Now that Astra is dead, Shazana deeply desires to be the new champion knight of Monitor. This is not such a great revelation, of course. Any of us would gladly welcome such an honor. What of Celia, the furrier? She is more quiet, yet she is not unaffected by the often lonely life of a Monitor knight. Her skin is smooth and soft, finer than any luxuriant mane or hide thou wilt find in our shop. I can assure thee. Excuse me. Man. You definitely dip your pen in all the company ink. Most definitely, this guy. Harna. She's a widow now, and hath a fine daughter. These days she keeps to herself and dabbles in magic, canst thou imagine? Ha! I hope Cantor can be found. The goblins must have taken her. They eat children, as thou knowest. That's terrible. And also, I can't remember for sure, but if you ask about Harna before you hear about, before you go to the banquet, before you hear about Cantor being abducted, I think he makes a passing statement that Cantor looks a lot like him, because he's laying with Harna, I guess a long time ago. A passing resemblance Cantor to Brendan. So the father of Cantor is actually not a real father. I might be misremembering. I always forget to double check things before starting this Let's Play. I'm too excited to continue playing this game. Let's ask about the wolves. The wolves are the most canny fighters in Monitor. We are quick, silent, and deadly. We are experts at tracking and hunting our prey, and when we attack, nothing can withstand us. Someday, all of Serpent Isle will belong to Monitor, and it will be because of the command of the wolf. Let's choose Serpent Isle before Traitor. I do not see why we stay down here in the south. Undoubtedly, the climate is warmer here, but the entire continent is ours for the taking. The bears merely want to hide here and stagnate. Well, makes sense for the bears. The leopards have no ambition at all. You can tell me about the bears, though. I believe one of them is a traitor. Didst thou hear that their patrol was ambushed at Fawn Tower? We did. We took back the tower in the last part, too. Our beloved champion knight was slain by goblins in that battle. She may have been a bear, but she was beautiful. The patrol was betrayed. And who could have known the plans? Why, another bear, of course. I forgot to mention how he talked about he can take over all of the continent. He might be right for this part of Serpent Isle. Moonshade is across the sea a little bit. I don't think warriors can take on mages. But Fawn doesn't really have a military, they just have guards, those masked guards we saw in the last part. And they have a tower near Fawn. I can totally see them taking over the continent, though. He's got ambition. Leopards. Oh, they're alright. At least they listen to us and try to see our point of view. It is time that we dispense with the notion of all for one and one for all, and adopt the concept of, may the best knight win. Now about the traitor. The charges against Craig are odious. Simply because a man is different doth not make him a criminal. He is not the traitor. So Craig hath told thee of a secret rendezvous site in the woods. By all means investigate. Surely thou wilt find evidence there to convict the traitor. I like how lines change in regards to who you talked first or before. Because if you didn't talk to Craig before talking to Brendan, then Brendan won't say that line right there. Of what shall we speak? Traitor. Let's say bye. Be cunning, goodbye. Okay. Let's talk to, I don't think Marston, not now. Let's talk to Kaladin. So, 'tis thee again. Well met. How shall I aid thee? Let's ask about him being a trainer again. Strength is the key, and then he does combat. I mentioned last time that was a clue. Noon, any day, and he will train us. South end of town, where all the knights go. Traitor. Whoever betrayed Asher's patrol must have been a knight. No one else could have done it. I don't trust that weakling Craig. If he says to look for evidence in the woods, perhaps thou shouldst. However, he might be sending thee to another ambush. Was Lydia the traitor? Listen, Reuben, just because a woman tries to kill thee is no reason to defame her good name. I'll admit Lydia dishonored herself by poisoning thee. 'Twas a shameful act. Yet I cannot believe that she'd betray her entire city to the goblins. Impossible. I tell thee, Craig is the traitor. Was Schmed the traitor? Ha! Schmed was the worst coward in Monitor. We let him hide in Knight's Test to spare ourselves from the agony of exiling him. He was terrified of goblins. So how could he become their spy? This makes no sense. Besides, the matter at Knight's Test smacks of wizardry. I think thou hast an unknown enemy from among the mages of Moonshade. Change subject. Duties. Now we can give him back that urn, but it doesn't seem to be popping up for some reason. I think we went a little bit too early in the conversation in the first part with him. Trainer. Goblins. Fawn Tower. Be a little bit quiet here as I'm going to read this. Make sure we didn't see it earlier. There we go. Now that we have captured Fawn Tower, our security is again guaranteed. Nice. Useless. Marston is too old. Spectre, he reads books. Yeah, we read that. Brendan is weak. Betrayed. Fawn Tower was betrayed. Someone betrayed Astrid. He doesn't say anything about the urn. He says nothing about the urn. I think I went too early in the conversation in part 1. So you don't want to choose that if you want to give him back the urn. Because it doesn't update here. Some sort of vase with suit inside. I guess we could try to ask Harna after a day passes. If that even pops up. Let's talk to Brendan again though, because I forgot to ask him about something, I think. Duties. Because you remember how we asked Kaladin about, was Lydia the traitor? Was Schmed the traitor? I think I forgot to talk to Brendan about that. So let's go through this real quick. Traitor. Oh, it doesn't pop up. What the heck? Welcome to the Wolf Command. Huh, it didn't pop up at all. That's strange. It should have popped up, I think. This game's being very weird. I'm not sure because I don't play the base Serpent anymore. I always play SI fixes. This is my second or third time playing it, I mean. And there's things, because it's a mod which changes some things, that it might affect things that I can't remember of, is my sloppy way of explaining. Let's talk to Marston. It's a pleasure to see thee, Knight Reuben. As the Lord of Monitor, I'm always at thy service. Traitor. Thou hast slain the traitor knight. Well done. Lydia must have been part of Schmed's secret conspiracy. But that no longer matters. Both of the goblin spies are dead. Huh. You think they're the traitors, huh? Oh, okay, if you say so, you're the Lord of Monitor. Duties. Do you have anything new to say? Anything new at all? Leopards. They're peacemakers. I don't think it says anything new. We saw that a while ago. Ancestors. Alright. I'm not gonna choose that. Wolves. Bears. Oh, okay, bye. I guess that's it. Too bad I can't give the urn to Kaladin. I can't remember how it works in the original if you choose urn too early before figuring out what the urn is with Harna versus SI fixes, but I think I'm gonna go to the tavern right now and talk to Lucilla. We also gotta talk to Luther. In 1 hour we can do some training. And I also forgot to mention that if I had a choice, I would like to join the bears versus wolves. Bears are cool animals. They weigh almost a ton, if not a ton. Their claws are like daggers. And they're very dangerous, and they're overall really, really cool, but it makes more sense for the avatar to be a wolf, considering that wolves and Monitor, the clan, scouts and hunts, and bears hibernate so they protect the walls. Where's Lucilla? She should be here. And just like Celia, she is not here. I really hope the game is not bugged after the banquet. Because I do want... It's not necessary to talk to her, by the way. But Celia is going to be important later on. Because we gotta buy something for her. Now, I almost forgot to mention, we picked up something during that fast forward section. And I gave it to Shamino. And that something is a bedroll. Pretty cool. We can put that bedroll right there. Whoops. Right there. You don't need to do this, but I like to give each companion a bedroll just because it makes sense for them to have bedrolls, but he can't put it there because he's carrying a bow. But eventually we'll be able to put it there. I don't know where Lucilla and Celia is. They should be in their spots, but I hope it fixes itself a day later. Like something is messed up from the banquet. Are they still in here? Ah. Spectre's here, Celia's here, and Lucilla's here. They're still doing their thing here. What the heck? I think it'll fix after a day passes. So let's talk to Lucilla. Hello again. Name's Lucilla, so we don't need to ask her about that. We already asked about the lost ring a part or two ago. Let's ask about the traitor. This is also confusing. Lord Brendan is certain that there must be a traitor, and the wolves are united behind him. Yet I have also heard that there is certainly no traitor, and that we should not indulge in hysteria. Who told thee this, madam? No single person, actually. I have merely heard it said in conversation, in a tavern. One hears everything. Alright, well, tell me of your duties. We already read that a while ago. If thou dost want anything to eat or drink, thou hast merely to say so, my lord. And now she will talk to us, because she sends you away after asking about her duties. Let's ask about the Slashing Sword. Interesting name for a pub. 'Tis a pub that hath been handed down generation to generation, originating with my great-grandfather. Although 'tis a wonderful place to have a meal, most of the men in the town come by to court me. I enjoy all the attention, I bet. What sort of men? Why is it that a woman must have a man? I have looked and looked, and I have not yet found the one for me. He must be tough, yet gentle with his woman. Brave, but afraid to disappoint his mate. He must be devious enough to win many battles, yet fair enough to consider me as his equal. But tell me about your great-grandfather. He was not only the founder of the pub, but he was a champion knight of Monitor. Wow, that's impressive. He wore the helm of Monitor for several years, and that helm is the same helm Harna was talking about in the prophecy that we asked about. Before he was bested in a tournament. Tell me about this tournament. All the knights think about is fighting. And who do they fight? The goblins? No. They prefer to spar with one another at the list field. Luther is the worst. Oh, how I hate him. Well, that guy is like really mean. What can you tell me about him? What a buffoon. He thinks every woman in this town wants him. I find him repulsive. To prove his prowess, he torments the weakest knights and challenges them to meet him on the list field. And when they lose, which they must since Luther is such a powerful brute, he gloats over them. They say that that new shield of his doth have special powers, so that now he is truly invincible. Well, I say if it is magical, then force him not to use it. Monitorians do not use magic weapons or armor. But no one can tell Luther anything. Interesting. That sounds like Dupre's shield, and it probably is. Champion Knight. I can hardly speak of the Champion Knight without remembering Astrid's foul death at the hands of the goblins. I fear that there is none worthy to fill her shoes as Champion Knight, except perhaps thyself. I must believe that thou hast had thy share of conquest in thy time. Oh, we are the Avatar. The Avatar has seen some shit, to put it mildly. Court. Oh. Court is basically asking her out on a date, I guess. I chose that without even thinking about it. Dost thou find me beautiful? I admit I love the attention. I have never found the right man for me. But I sense that thou art somehow different, my lord. Wouldst thou like to meet later? No thank you? Oh, be that way then. There are plenty of others who are interested in me. So if you're interested in her, you can rendezvous with her later. I believe like 3 in the morning or midnight at her place in the tavern, her bedroom. And you will sleep with her. And you get an item from it. You get a Guani cloak. Which is not very helpful. You want to wear a different cloak when you go to the north. You'll see later on. A little bit of not really a romance, but me personally, I don't want to share a lady who's been with Brendan. Even though admittedly Brendan is a pretty cool character, because despite being a womanizer, he's actually kind of likable. You can tell he cares about his wolf command compadres. And also, before I forget, remember Nastasia, the little romance subplot in Black Gate? She will no longer be mentioned at all. Either the Avatar and her didn't work out, or, more likely, Origin writers have completely forgotten. I believe there's 3 writers to Serpent Isle, and one of them is Raymond Benson. The other, I believe, is Bill Armentrout. And the third is a woman that I can't remember the name to. Starts with an S. They wrote Serpent Isle, so keep that in mind. I think Raymond Benson also wrote the Black Gate. I gotta double check. We'll ask about cooking. If I do say so myself, I am a master of cooking poultry, or as I say, breasts and thighs, breasts and thighs. And which dost thou prefer, my lord? But do not answer yet. Okay, I won't. I won't. You see how flirty she is? This game is very Risk. Especially to my 9-year-old brain when I first played this back in the day. I was not prepared for that at all. Maybe I shouldn't have played this back then. Quest of Courage. Thou knowest the quest to prove that thou art fit to bear thy knighthood. Surely a fine young warrior like thyself dost plan to partake in the quest to retrieve the helm of Monitor. I do. If only we could learn the secret of their hidden camp. But it remains a mystery. Worthy. Monitor is not the town it once was. Our ancestors founded a settlement built on the principle of courage. But today, greed and glory have corrupted our knights. Monitor needs a champion that is not only a leader on the battlefield, but someone who can stir their hearts and lead them back to what it means to be a knight. I wish a new champion knight would arise, one who could not only retrieve the helm of Monitor, but also right the wrongs in this town. Could that person be thee? I would like it to be so. Goodbye. You know, if it were me, I would not even, like if I ran this town, it's like a bad idea to separate knights into different categories, wolves, bears, and leopards, which is, you know, their whole theme, because your totem animal is chosen for you at the end of the knight's test. But when you divide units like that, you have a tendency to compete with each other versus it's better to unite against a common enemy, aka the goblins, because they're too busy fighting each other. It's very disorganized. Let's talk to Celia. Do you have anything new to say? I don't think so. I believe we asked everything we could. Alright, let's try that again. So I don't believe we asked about this. I think there's no dialogue options after you become a knight, even though you talk to her to get your cloak made. Furrier. I'll just read all this, if we already read it before. I'm the furrier, tanner and tailor of Monitor. It is my duty to make cloaks from the animals slain by our valiant knights. If one were to travel far north, it is exactly the sort of thing one should wear. I skin the carcasses myself. Other pelts I obtained from the northern trappers. They supply exotic furs which are rare here in Monitor, especially Guani pelts. So yeah, this game has a, I guess I'll just go ahead and mention it now. When she says you should wear warm clothing up north, she means it. If you don't, you will freeze to death. Which is a really cool thing. That was a new thing to me back then. Oh, you gotta wear fur boots, fur hat, and a cloak to survive in a harsh, cold environment. That's just like real life. We're not going to buy it now, though, but we could if we want to. Let's ask about trappers. Luther brings me leopard pelts now and again. But mostly I must rely on the trappers to bring me exotic furs. The trappers live in the great northern forest, at the foot of the impassable mountains. A trapper named Hazard sells me snow leopard pelts. Unfortunately, his men only make it as far south as Monitor, a few times a year. Sometimes he even sends guani pelts. He likes hunting guani because it is such a challenge. Guani pelts. I have not heard of stories of these creatures. They are terrible, ferocious, savage creatures. They live in the snowlands of the far north, where the goblins sometimes go to war on them. It is exceedingly rare for the goblins to slay a guani, but when they do, their chieftain immediately lays claim to the carcass. Only the toughest goblin chiefs wear the guani cloak, and only the toughest knights can slay such a fearsome goblin. What do you know of Luther? Actually, when Luther doth go on the hunt, he rarely catches anything. That's funny. A bear can't catch anything. Like all the other bears, I think he prefers to hunt other warriors. He always bullies the strangers that come into town. He is a bully, and someone should teach him a lesson. I have noticed that Luther doth completely relax his guard whenever he loses his temper. And nothing angers him so much as when he is taunted. Do with information what thou wilt. I simply love to cause dissension. I like this girl. Bye. Let's talk to Spectre. He does not seem to want to talk. What the heck? Let's save. Reload. I'm double clicking and it's not working. It seems to be bugged, and I hope it fixes itself later. Lucilla's not. Celia's gone too. Huh. Spectre, you gotta wake up. The banquet is over. I've taken all the food. There is none left. Just spare ribs in the back, in the kitchen. Let's hope that fixes later. Let's just leave. We need to talk to Templar, which is about 20 minutes, Lucilla. We talked to pretty much everyone we could except Templar and Luther. And we gotta talk to Luther, because like Lee, he has Dupre's shield. I think I gotta wait like 20 minutes too. Let's go in here. There's nobody in here right now. Okay. Alright, time to play the waiting game. I'm gonna have to wait here for like 17 in-game seconds, but luckily for you, I'm just gonna skip, do a little jump cut. Alright, here we are. Shazan is arriving, Luther, Kaladin, and Templar. Lovely. We can talk to all these people besides Kaladin. And, man, they fight all day. I bet they have a lot of repetitive stress injuries. Let's talk to Templar first. Yes. What are your duties? I'm a Knight of Monitor, and a member of the Command of the Bear. I also serve Lord Marston as his tactical advisor. Bit of a timeout again. It's been 50 minutes on my end, and this playthrough for me, recording, is going by really quickly. And I just realized, not just realized, but yeah, this is going to be a lot of talking in this LP. I hope that's not bothersome. Advisor. Advisor for military matters, that is. Some consider me to be an expert in tactics. For instance, hast thou ever noticed that the goblins tend to attack in patterns? By observing them, I can sometimes predict when and how they are going to strike next. I like to imagine what it must be like to be huddled around the fires of their village as they draw their plans against us. The better I can understand them, the better I can defend against them. Patterns, when and how. Let's ask about patterns. They are creatures of habit, to be sure. If thou hast know their customs, then thou hast the knowledge to defeat them. They always set their travel camps in the same pattern. The chieftain's hut is the largest, and is in the center. Each day ends with a drunken revel, and then the exhausted celebrants stumble to their huts and sleep until long past daybreak. When raiding a goblin camp, strike in the morning, just as the sun is coming up. This is when the guards are fewest, and the chance for success is greatest. Be sure to remember what he just said. That's very, very important. When? The goblins do not seem to like the sun, and their most favorite time to strike their enemies is precisely after the sun hath set for the night. Many is the time when goblin armies have marched to the edge of a city, or encampment, and then they have waited until nightfall. Often these sieges lasted all night long. And lastly, how? The goblins do not practice any sophisticated sort of military strategy or tactics. Mostly they rely on sheer numbers as well as the fear that they inspire in the hearts of men and women. Change subject. What else dost thou desire of me? What can you tell me about the command of the bear? We are by far the strongest of the three commands, the envy of the Serpent Isle. He sounds more like a wolf with the way he knows tactics and stuff. He's not like a brute. Goblins. 'Tis a bloody war we are fighting. That I am alive today, speaking with thee is a miracle. The goblins are foul but fascinating creatures. They are more intelligent than one would think. In a bestial way, of course. If only I could speak with their General Pom Durgan. Imagine what that mind must be like, so calculating, so incisive, yet so utterly inhuman. What can you tell me about him? He is the goblin leader, a king or a chieftain, depending on how one translate the goblin tongue. Pom Durgan claims to be a direct descendant of Grenadier. Having heard him curse us on the field of battle, I know that he speaks our tongue. Quite a feat for one of those creatures. That's impressive. War. We have been fighting the damn goblins since our forefathers landed on these shores. This city was built on the site of a goblin village. There had been a balance of sorts until the ambush of Astrid's patrol. As Knight Champion, she wore the helm of Monitor, and now the goblins have it. The power of the helm cannot be understated. With it, Pom Durgan can once again assemble the goblin horde and invade the lands of men. Somehow we must regain the helm. A miracle. It shames me to say that I am the sole survivor from the ambush of Astrid's patrol. The goblins left me for dead, but I was merely dazed. There is a heap of bodies where Astrid had last been fighting, but her body was not there. It is obvious to me that they took her alive. I managed to reach Knight's Test where Schmed gave me shelter and sent for Harna to bandage my wounds. When I recover, I am going there again. Tell me about the ambush. It was as if they knew our plans. They were lying in wait across our path, and were upon us in moments. What carnage. It grieves me to say this, but there must be a traitor in Monitor. Someone must have revealed our plans to the goblins. As a bear, I know that our command is innocent. Kaladin doth have many faults, but being devious is not one of them. The traitor is either a wolf or a leopard. Perhaps if thou dost ask around, thou mightst find clues in this mystery. Wolf. The wolves have been disloyal to Monitor since Brendan took charge. He would have us guard the roads, not the city itself. If anyone is the spy, it must be Craig. He is often out in the woods, alone, and he never brings back booty or prisoners. What can he be doing? He says that he doth have an old injury, but he's merely a sniveling coward. I saw his arm. Well, the Avatar saw his arm. He showed it to us. The guy can't fight. I mean, it's kind of hard when you have a mangled up arm. Leopard. Marston, the leader of the Leopard Command, officially runs the town, and he doth have his hands full. Not only are there the goblins to worry about, but there is also a thief stealing money from the treasury. Spectre, his right-hand man, is in charge of that as well. Needless to say, it hath made things unpleasant between the commands as of late. Let's ask about Astrid. She was the greatest knight that I have ever had the honor of fighting beside. Carrying on her standard is a challenge to which I would dedicate myself for the rest of my life. Alive. Being captured alive by the goblins is a far worse fate than being killed by them on the battlefield. Survivors tell horrifying stories of torture, mutilation, and things I should not even speak of. Let's ask about forefathers. The greatest battle of the Goblin Wars took place in the days when Grenadier was king of the goblins. He was the mightiest goblin who ever lived, and he led the goblin horde in the invasion which placed Monitor itself under siege. The goblins stormed the walls and fought their way inside the city. However, the bears surrounded them, and Grenadier was at last slain. From his dead body was taken the Helm of Courage, and his ashes are enshrined in Knight's Test. Tell me about the Helm of Courage. We now call it the Helm of Monitor, and it is worn by the Knight Champion, but it first came from the goblins. Whence it came before they got their hands upon it, no one can say. The helm doth have mystical powers, which we believe are due to being imbued with the essence of courage. Ashes. Tell me about the ashes, I mean. As Renfrey could tell thee, we Monitorians have a special reverence for the ashes of the dead. When a knight dies, his body must be brought back to Monitor for cremation. The ashes are then placed in the crypts. In the case of Grenadier, his ashes have a strange power. Like all ashes, they are imbued with the essence of the living being. Imbued with the essence of the living being. I'm saying that because that's going to be important way later in the game. And if you play this game before, you know what I'm talking about. As I have seen, the ashes are used in the climax of the test of knighthood. Somehow, they have the power to summon one's totem animal. Traitor. Ah, just says the same thing. Or, likely I already chose it. Bye. So he's done. He gave us a lot of information. We didn't ask Harna about that brush we got. I don't believe, but if we did, we can ask Templar about it. Let's talk to Luther. Look at the new knight. Thought I was starting to look fetching with thy tattoo. Ha. Name. I am Luther. I am a bear and a trainer of unequaled strength. It is my destiny to become the Knight Champion of Monitor. What are your duties? As Knight of the Order of the Bear, I am charged with defending Monitor at all times. Often I am called upon by Kaladin to lead patrols outside the city walls, or to single-handedly scout the wilderness. I am very brave. Alright, let's ask about... We can ask about Bully, Repulsive, I'm going to do that later, and the new shield. Let's ask about the Bears? The Bears. Not the Bears. The Bears. We're the hope of Monitor, the only defense against the goblins. The leopards are hopeless, and the wolves are too smart for their own good. What can you tell me of Kaladin? Oftentimes I am sent on the most dangerous types of patrols. Kaladin, head of the Bear Command, likes to joke that he sends me on these patrols in the hopes that I do not return. But I know the truth. He sends me because he knows I am the only one who is tough enough. I'm not too sure about that. If I was in charge of you, I would send you out much the same way. Brave. Many of the knights tell stories about mine accomplishments. Thou shouldst especially speak with Lucilla. She is very impressed with me. If thou knowest what I mean, aye? One day I should be Lord of the Bears when Kaladin is at last seen for the pathetic coward that he truly is. And I shall challenge the goblins to a final battle and use their pathetic skulls for the sharpening of my blade. Destiny. I'm the greatest fighter in Monitor, but I sense that thou art uncertain. Dost thou disagree? Yes. I shall gladly prove it to thee. On the list field. Meet me there in the morning, but not too early. I like my sleep. The 9th hour should be sufficient. Knight Champion. We just challenged him to a duel. He's also pretty tough, by the way. The Knight Champion is the bravest and toughest fighter in all the land. Now that Asha hath met an untimely doom, the post is open for the taking. Actually, she must have been fairly addlepated to let the goblins ambush her like that. When I am champion, the goblins shall quake in fear. Quake in fear. Is that because you're so fat? The ground would tremble and shake all the goblins nearby? Probably. Let's ask about the traitor. The goblins did not ambush that patrol without help. If Lord Marston doth not recognize this, then he is blind as well as brainless. It doth not take a wizard to untangle this skein. Who among us acts strangely, doth do things in secret, and avoids his nightly duties? Speak to Craig the Provisioner, we did. Force him to spill his filthy secrets. I would do it myself, but Marston hath ordered me to stay away from that worm. About that new shield you got, can you show us what it is? So, thou hast heard of my new shield. No one hath ever seen the like of it before. It is so light, yet blows seem to bounce off of it. Look, he doth have my missing shield, Dupre says. And that mystery shield we have must be his. What did he say? Can you return our shield? No, I will not. This is my shield, and it hath been mine since my father, a great knight of Monitor, passed it on to me. If thou dost call me a thief again, then thou art calling me a liar, and dishonoring the name of my father. If thou didst that, I would have to challenge thee to combat on the list field. So if I were thee, I would think twice about speaking to me with such an insolent tone. Not only is this guy a bully and a brute, he's also a liar. We found this shield, this must be yours. No, that doth not look like my shield. I do not believe I have ever seen that shield before in my life. Besides, I have this new shield, which, by the way, is a family heirloom, thank thee very much. You're a bully. How darest thou call me a bully? That little whore Lydia must have put thee up to this. I'm glad that she is dead, the bitch. That is it, goat. Meet me at the list field. There I shall ram thy words down thy throat. You're also repulsive, Lucilla told me to tell you that. Lucilla said, what? She finds me repulsive. Thou dost lie. It is a filthy lie. I will have thine head on a pike for spreading such tales. That is it, goat. Meet me at the list field. There I shall ram thy words down thy throat. Goodbye. Slug, he calls me. So Luther, when it comes to getting all your items in this game, his is the toughest. Because he's not the only one at the list field. So if you go in and fight him, you're fighting everyone else. So needless to say, you need to get some training done. Speaking of which, I should probably do that real soon. This part's coming to a close. I want to do all the talking before leaving town and doing some exploration. So this one's probably going to be just as long. So I hope that's all right. Let's talk to Shazana. Right. She met with one of Batlin's companions. I shouldn't say companions. Batlin doesn't have companions. He has underlings. And she was with a guy named Deadeye, so let's ask about that guy. The mysterious sailor thou dost speak of was a pirate by the name of Deadeye. We engaged in nightly combat on the list field, and a more esoteric form of hand-to-hand combat elsewhere. He was most diverting. There was a very strange man who came into town not long ago. He said his name was Batlin. He wanted me to work for him. But I felt I could not trust him, so I refused. Your feelings are correct. Let's ask about duties. I am one of the best fighters in this town. This is why all the knights desire to be trained by me. I fight harder than any man or woman alive. I commonly win, but when I do not, the victor knows that they were in a terrific fight. Best. There are few who can match me. The secret is to be in control. A knight who doth lose his temper in battle is a defeated knight. The bears say that strength is the key. Well, I can strike before those over-muscled brutes can react. The wolves pride themselves on cunning, fools. They cannot think past my blinding sword strikes. Since thou hast questioned my skill, I challenge thee to a match. Dost thou accept? Sure. Meet me upon the list field at noon, and I shall teach thee to appreciate my skill with a blade. If thou dost not show, then I shall know thee for the coward thou art, or I simply am just too busy. Have you ever thought about that? Let's ask about the bears. The bears believe in a strong defense, I will give them that. But we cannot hide behind Monitor's walls. We must seek out our enemies. Our highest priority should be to raid that hidden goblin camp and destroy that evil race. Raid. We must take back the helm of Monitor and avenge the death of Astrid. War is the ultimate test for any knight. This is how one doth test one's inner strength. War is both holy and obscene, beautiful and yet hideous. I love it. I'm very good at it. What can you tell me about Astrid? Astrid was a magnificent knight champion. Even though she was a bear and I a leopard, we were boon companions. It takes a rare individual to lead warriors in combat. Astrid united us against the goblins. Now I fear the bears and wolves shall squabble again. What about the helm of Monitor? The helm was originally taken from the old Goblin King Grenadier in the days of the Goblin Horde. It is an ancient and powerful talisman, endowed with the principle of courage. Thus, it can only be worn by the bravest of warriors. Astrid was such a person. When I become the knight champion and the helm is recovered, I shall wear it in Astrid's memory. What can you tell me of the wolves? The wolves have this grand scheme for uniting the three cities into a commonwealth, united by trade routes. How can this be when the goblins threaten our very existence? The wolves are simply not practical. Destroy. If the goblins refuse to concede that this territory belongs to us, then what shall we do? Sue for peace? We must wage war against them until they are all dead. This is the nature of the world, so be it. Train. I teach the art of combat. My technique is based on swiftness and accuracy of movement. If thou were to be at the list field at noon, I could spar with thee. I am certain I could also teach thy friend a thing or two. Art thou referring to me? I believe she was referring to thee. I believe it was thee she was referring to, Avatar. I can train anyone, she says. Bye. Let's talk to Kaladin before we leave. I wonder if he says anything about Luther with his mission thing that he sends him out on. Duties. Bears. Courage. Goblins. Guess not. Let's just leave. It's time to do some training and maybe end this part. We'll see. It's getting to be an hour and 10 minutes on my end. And I think it's actually going to be that long because there's not much to cut out. But my voice is getting really tired right now. So let's talk to this guy. Hopefully he hasn't disappeared or something. He's still here. Good. Save. I'm not going to talk to him with that fog covering the entire screen. Pikemen. I'd like to do some training. Me. Brendan. Yes. Let's choose a battle axe. Thou knowest thy weapons well. Sweet is the sight of a battle axe swinging in the pitch of battle. Lovely is the sound of bone crunching under its mighty arc. Alright, follow me. He really likes battle axes, apparently. I'll try new weapons just to see new lines from the pikemen. Alright, where are you, Brendan? Don't fire a bow at me, how about you? Not fair? And I lost. Wonderful. I didn't do 1 point of damage towards him. I'm bleeding too. These knights don't mess around. Alright, we're currently 20 dex and 21 combat. Next will be strength and combat, so Kaladin. And Kaladin is not here, unfortunately. Let's organize my stuff. Re-equip my shield. Check all this stuff here. Let's go to Lydia's house. Is Spectre still in here, by the way? Let's check. Let's check. I'm probably going to go to sleep soon. He's still here. What the heck? Spectre. I'm bleeding all over the place. My goodness. Do we have any bandages? We used all of them. I forgot. Let's go to Lydia's house. This is going to be a pretty long part. I want to get it done with all these knights here before we head out. In the next part, we're going to do some combat. We're going to explore those woods, basically, and try to find that spot that Craig talked about. Here we are. I also got to check to see if we can cremate Lydia. I might double check my own time. I think we'll put these scrolls in here for now. These two. And this right here is... Oh, that's Delphinia's scroll. Let's pretend we didn't read that. And we'll put this... we'll put this here. I don't think we need it. This stuff I'll get rid of soon. Anything else we can store for now? I'm gonna sleep here. Eventually. Probably in just a few seconds. Keeping those reagents. Those are serpent scales, by the way. YOLO. Oh. Why are you carrying a loot? That's because that's from the storm. He's got 2 loots now. Loot and YOLO's loot. He needs a shield. He needs armor too. He's not too protected, that guy. I'm gonna put weapons in this dresser, so I don't need these. Actually, I do need those. Let's keep those. Those are lucky arrows, right? Yes, they are. Let's give YOLO this. Go ahead and re-equip that. Put that there. Shamino's fine. Dupre. Have a lot of stuff here. Alright, let's do a hard save. Even though this part's almost over. and take Lydia with us. I'm gonna go to the crematorium. Yep, thou dost not carry a pikeman. I can only pay thee for bringing me the bodies of fallen knights. Only they deserve such respect, so Lydia does not count, even though she is a knight. She is a pikeman. That's why I said earlier in the last part and a part before that some characters' name don't count to be cremated. Only those NPC non-named pikemen. But I wanted to double check. Which means I probably should put her somewhere else. Maybe at the Knight's Test with Schmed, I don't know. Feels weird to sleep with a body here, isn't it? And speaking of sleeping, let's go ahead and do that. Do 12 hours. Alright, morning time. I'm not sure if I'm gonna speed this up, do a jump cut towards this moment, because 12 hours is 3 in the morning, so I had to go to sleep again. Before I forget, be sure to feed your characters, because as you can see, they're hungry. Yep, you only need to do it once, unlike Blackgate. We still have got plenty of food, a lot of bread, a lot of cake, pies, and all that. Let's go... Ah, shoot. Okay, Luther should be in the list field, so I think we can get that shield immediately. So let's go do that. This part's gonna be pretty long. I don't think you guys mind that. Lucilla is still out here. It's the next day, so they should go back to their schedules, right? The Spectre's still in here. That's gonna be a little annoying. Still in here. What the heck? I can't talk to him. He's stuck. He is absolutely stuck. What the heck? It actually doesn't really matter, but that really bugs me. Let's hope when we leave Monitor and come back, he'll be fixed. Let's talk to this guy. I'm here to fight. Me. I will take the halberd. Your favorite weapon. And hopefully I can take on Luther. Can't remember if it was 9 in the morning or... There he is. At you! Come on. Get him. 3. I wouldn't have believed it. Thou didst beat me. In a fair fight. I wouldn't call this fair. I'm fighting against you, Kaladin and Templar. Thou art a better man than I am, Reuben. Hail the Avatar, everyone said. Now, you see how tough he was? Well, we were fighting 2 other guys. I almost lost. But let's train YOLO while we're here. Actually, hold on. Let's say bye. Save, because I don't want to fight Luther again. Train YOLO. Kaladin. Yes. Now he can have, let's just give him a halberd. I really hope Spectre fixes himself. That's a little odd. I've never seen that before. YOLO, get your head out of the clouds. You're being attacked. I have only a sure strength. Learn from this lesson, he says. Very good, he says as he returns your equipment. Alright, YOLO. Let's get out of here. Re-equip your stuff. That in there. There. And let's check our stats a little bit. Dupre and Shamino are still level 3. I'm level 4. And YOLO now has 17 strength and 20 combat. I'll probably do that again, next level, strength, and then combat. Let's go back in here. I'm a little nervous that the game is, like, not working too well, because Spectre has been sitting here forever. Let me save, and I'll attack him. See if this works. Oh, they all just attack me. Huh. But he's not like... Get out of there. I want to talk to you. Spectre is not... And Lucilla's still right here. don't know what's going on, guys. That is bugged. Never saw that before. The banquet can tend to be buggy, and I guess it's still like that in SI fixes, but I think we are done. So in the next part, we're gonna go out in the woods and try to find that area that Craig talked about, the stone black monolith, and maybe we'll find clues as to who the traitor to Monitor is.